I'd been roped into house sitting for my cousin Mike last summer. He was this laid-back guy who lived in a sleepy suburban neighborhood about an hour outside the city. Just rows of cookie-cutter houses, manicured lawns, and streetlights. That flickered half the time. He was heading out of town for a work thing, some conference he couldn't skip, and had needed someone to hold down the fort for 3 days. Water the plants, feed the cat, crash on the couch, he'd said over the phone like it was no big deal. I didn't have much going on. Part-time gig at a coffee shop, slow week. So I said sure. Packed a bag, grabbed some snacks, and drove out there Friday afternoon. The house was what you'd expect. Single-story beige siding, a little porch, with a rocking chair that looked like it hadn't been sat in for years. Inside, it smelled like old carpet and lemon cleaner. The living room had a lumpy couch, a flat-screen TV, and a coffee table cluttered with Mike's junk, remote controls, a couple coasters, some car magazines. The kitchen was off to the side, small but functional, with a back door that led to a strip of backyard fenced in by chain link. There was a guest room down the hall, but I figured I'd just sleep on the couch. The cat, a scruffy tabby named Juno, greeted me by rubbing against my leg, then darted off to do her own thing. Easy enough gig, I thought. The first night was smooth. I got there around 6, unpacked my stuff, a change of clothes, my laptop, some chips, and settled in. Fed Juno, watered the sad little fern in the corner, and ordered a pizza. Watched a couple of episodes of some dumb sitcom on TV, the kind where the laugh track does most of the work. The house was quiet, almost too quiet. But that's suburbia for you. The only sound was the fridge humming every now and then, this low buzz that cut through the stillness. I locked the front door, checked the back one out of habit, and crashed. On the couch around 11. Juno curled up on the armrest purring like a motor. Fell asleep no problem. Saturday morning I woke up to her scratching at the guest room door down the hall. The sun was barely up, filtering through the blinds in thin gray streaks. I shuffled over, half asleep, and let her in. She didn't run off like usual, just sat there on the rug, staring at me with those big green eyes. "What's your deal?" I mumbled, scratching my head. She didn't move, just kept looking, tail flicking slow. Creepy, but cats are weird, so I let it slide. Went back to the living room, grabbed my phone, and scrolled through some texts, while the coffee maker gurgled in the kitchen. That's when I noticed the back door. The latch was up, unlocked. I froze, cup in hand, staring at it. I'd locked it last night, hadn't I? I could picture it, flipping the deadbolt after the pizza guy left, double-checking it before bed. But there it was, undone. Not open, just unlocked, like someone had flipped it and walked away. My stomach did a little twist. Maybe I'd messed up, spaced out after a long day. I walked over, slid the bolt back into place with a loud click, and checked the front door. Still locked, with the chain still on. Windows, too, all shut tight. Juno padded into the kitchen behind me, sat by the door, and stared at it. "You're not helping," I told her. She didn't blink. I shook it off. Old house, old habits. Maybe. Mike didn't even lock it half the time, and I just imagined doing it. Made my coffee, ate some leftover pizza, and decided to chill. Around noon, I was sprawled on the couch, scrolling through X on my phone when I heard it. Tap, tap, tap. Faint, like someone flicking a nail against a window. It was coming from the kitchen. I muted my phone, sat up, and listened. Tap, tap. I got up slowly and peeked around the corner. Nothing. The kitchen was empty, sunlight spilling across the linoleum. The tapping stopped the second I stepped in, like it knew I was there. I checked the back door. Locked. The window above the sink, closed, latch down. "What the hell?" I muttered, running a hand through my hair. Juno slunk in, hopped onto the counter and stared at that damn door again. Tail flicking, eyes wide. I told myself it was the house settling. Old pipes, maybe, or a branch brushing a window outside. But the air felt off, like it was pressing down on me, heavier than it should have been. I went back to the couch, cranked the TV volume and tried to drown it out. Didn't hear anything else for a couple of hours. Kept busy, played some music, messed around online, even swept the floor just to move. But Juno wouldn't leave the kitchen. She'd sit there, staring at the back door like it owed her money. By late afternoon, I was starting to feel watched, which was stupid. This was just a boring suburb, not some haunted cabin in the woods. Evening rolled around and I was heating up some ramen in the microwave when it happened again. Tap, 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 louder this time, sharper, right behind me. I spun around, heart jumping, and there was nothing but that back door, a glass panel black with the night outside. The sound stopped cold. I grabbed a knife from the block on the counter, not even thinking, just instinct, and stood there, staring at the door. "Hello?" I said, my voice shaky. Nothing. Juno hissed low and guttural from somewhere behind me. I turned. She was arched up on the counter, fur bristling, eyes locked on that glass. My mouth went dry. I checked the house. Every room, every corner. Guest bedroom, empty. Just a twin bed and a dusty lamp. Bathroom, shower curtain pulled back. Nothing. Closets, coats and boxes, no boogeyman. Went outside, flipped on the porch light, and scanned the backyard. Just grass, the fence, a couple plastic chairs Mike never used. No footprints, no branches near the windows. Locked everything again and triple-checked this time. Sat back on the couch, knife still in hand, trying to breathe. Juno wouldn't come near me now. She'd bolted upstairs, hiding under the guest bed. Then my phone buzzed. I jumped, nearly dropped the knife. It was a notification from some security app I didn't recognize. Motion detected, backyard camera. Mike hadn't mentioned any cameras. I opened it, hands shaky, and there was a live feed. The backyard, lit dimly by the porch light, the fence in the distance. A little timestamp popped up with a recorded clip from 10 minutes ago. I hit play. The footage started normally. Empty lawn, still night. Then, at the edge of the frame, something moved, fast, blurry, darting across the screen. Human-sized, maybe taller but hunched over, like it didn't want to be seen. It was gone in a second, vanishing past the fence. I rewatched it, paused it, zoomed in. Couldn't tell what it was. A shadow? A person? The shape was wrong, too long in places, too fast.